Hello my friends, today's video is going to be really simple. It's going to be comparing a space gray Apple laptop to the more newly released space black Apple laptop. Now as you can see from that reflection, we are currently viewing it under a bright white light, and under this type of lighting the difference between the two is very apparent. In fact, I have seen some people online who have been saying that, the space black is overrated because it's not that different than the space gray, that from different viewing angles it actually looks identical. To those people, I say you might have to get your eyes checked because this one is significantly darker, in my opinion, significantly cooler, though that is a matter of taste. Some people like the more classic space gray. As you can see, this is a 2020 edition with the old school touch bar. My new baby is the M4 Macbook Pro. And once again, this should be very clear evidence that the color is noticeably darker on the space black. However, with all that being said, I will admit that when you're not under white lighting, the difference is a lot more subtle. And I'm going to show you what that difference looks like right now. So, as you can kind of see from that reflection, we're now under a much more pale yellow tungsten lighting. And if you didn't know better, you might almost think that that's a different laptop, because from certain viewing angles, it's now looking about as gray as the previous one was, and the space gray is almost looking like a silver. This is not an optical illusion. I'm not rich enough to have 4 laptops to play a trick on you guys. These are the same laptops from a moment ago, but if you're seeing what I'm seeing, they look significantly more pale under the softer yellow lighting. And I think this is what some people have been complaining about when they say that the new color is misleading. It's not that it's not noticeably darker than the space gray. Even here it is. And you can see the age of my older laptop based on the multitude of fingerprints that I have on it. But the difference is that both of them appear a lot more pale in different lighting. And so when you're in the Apple store, they have that very white lighting, as a lot of stores do, but especially Apple is known for, think of their logo, think of their packaging. They like the bright white, and in the bright white environment, space black looks, well, from certain angles, almost black. Whereas there's no confusing this for black. And so some people who have not seen a space black laptop outside of the advertisements might find themselves a bit disappointed that it's not actually a black laptop. And by the way, for anyone who's curious what the difference between a 13-inch and a 14-inch looks like, there's a little bonus tip. You can also see that the newer generation of MacBook is slightly taller as well. The whole thing is heavier than the 2020 M1. And as I wrap up today's video, I just switched to a more dimly lit scenario. And once again, look at this. Almost indistinguishable from the black table. The very messy black table, by the way. That's how you know I'm not sponsored by Apple. This is a real review in my real house. But yeah, it is interesting how from various angles, oh, you can really see it now, can't you? Like, is it just me, or has this just become completely camouflaged? It's truly space black in this dimly lit scenario, where this one, I mean, come on. you've barely changed your color. And so I would say the space black is an interesting color. It's kind of a chameleon. And so anyone who's saying it's more of a gray, it's not really black, well, it all depends on how you're viewing it. But overall, I think, you know, I used that laptop for years. There's nothing wrong with it. If I could only get a new laptop in space gray, I would certainly buy it. But yeah, I'm obviously a big fan of the space black color, and I think you will be too. Hey, this is me from the future, just editing this video, and I forgot to talk about one thing. Even though I spent most of this video making it clear that I picked the space black and I prefer the space black, I just noticed one big thing that could deter a lot of people from space black. For example, look at this freeze frame here. Look at all the fingerprints on the space black. Whereas this laptop, which I literally showed you the inside, right? I'll show you again, it's right next to me. I am someone who unfortunately gets a lot of fingerprints on my stuff. I guess I could have cleaned it before this video, but I want to show you what it really looks like when it's in use. And apparently what this really looks like when it's in use is, I mean, look at that. You can see that, right? I don't see any fingerprint smudges at all over there. But it's almost like a textured pattern on the space black. I have a couple points I want to make about this. Number one, okay, we can see it, right? Because we've been staring at these laptops for 7 or 8 minutes. In the context of a video like this, it becomes obvious. Just like the notch, right? This is something that in reviews, a lot of people talk about because it's obvious when you're just staring at side-by-sides. But in reality, I barely notice the notch until I'm actually thinking about the differences between my old laptop and my new one. I'm not even aware that I have it. Fingerprints are something that someone who is kind of OCD or is looking for anything to talk about, yeah, I mean, it's there. You can see it. It's unavoidable, right? You're going to be touching your laptop. I truly didn't notice this until I was filming this video. So in real life, day to day, no one is going to be thinking, oh, look at all those fingerprints. They're just going to be thinking, oh, that's kind of a sick laptop. Is that the new space black? You know what I mean? Like, no one is really thinking that much about fingerprints, or at least I'm not in my day to day. But to be fair, some people might be. And if you're one of those people, perhaps this is not the color for you.